When I originally came to college, I was so set on flying through my 4 years to get out, work, and move on with my life. Growing up, I was so sure I was going to work for the government, and that my life really wasn't going to start until that part of my life began. It wasn't until something changed my entire life and showed me who I was, but also what I was capable of: undergraduate research. A little over a year ago, I was sharing laughter with 40 other students as we celebrated the end of an 8-week research program called Summer Scholars here at Christopher Newport University. I remember that day so clearly, as it was my defining moment, or what seems cliche, yet so incredibly real, the I know my purpose feeling. On that day, as the laughter simmered down, my mentee walked up to me. Now in our program, several of us had the opportunity to mentor a high school student on whatever our research project was. These students had a wide range of interests and backgrounds, and my mentee could not be any more different from me. I was a student doing a Russian history project, studying terrorists, their past, and their relationships. And she was a rising high school senior who loved all things math, physics, and science. Yet she decided to step out of her comfort zone and work on this project with me and my advisor. On that day, when she walked up to me, I could tell she had something behind her back, so I looked at her and asked her what she had. She pulled out the Russian novel Crime and Punishment. She looked at me, smiled, and said, "McKenzie, I really stepped out of my comfort zone here, so I felt like I just needed to buy the book and read it." Now, I never really thought I would inspire someone to buy Russian literature, but in this moment, research had defined me and showed me that I had inspired someone. So, my question today is, why even do undergraduate research? Undergraduate research has been defined as a powerful, effective, behavioral, and personal discovery experience whose dimensions have profound significance for both emergent adult identity and sense of direction. Its ultimate purpose is for undergraduates to collaborate with faculty mentors or their peers in some form of research or creative work. It can be conducted in any discipline, from the art studio to the lab work in the sciences. And it's quickly becoming one of the most profound, significant journeys of the academic journey for students, what we are now calling high-impact practices. And a recent study conducted by the National Survey for Student Engagement found that roughly 49% of undergraduates were participating in some form of research, with 60% indicating they were publishing their findings, along with 70% saying it was helping them find a career path. Undergraduate research is giving thousands and thousands of students the opportunity to pique their intellectual and creative interest. One of my strongest educational values is that every undergraduate should have the opportunity to engage in some form of research program, study, or initiative. Now, I could go on and on about undergraduate research and its success, including the ability to gain incredible soft and hard skills for the future. However, participating in undergraduate research goes beyond this scope of learning skills and developing interest. It creates leaders for the future. John Cotter, a Harvard professor who studies leadership, once wrote that a good leader strives to motivate the self and others through basic human needs for achievement, belonging, self-recognition, and the ability to live up to one's ideals. In undergraduate research, students achieve new heights. They find themselves connected intellectually in ways they never thought possible, and live up to ideals of responsibility, self-efficacy, and so much more. In research, there is consistent change and flow, teaching students how to adapt. It is collaborative work with others, yet it is powerfully innovative in deriving new ideas or questions about the world. However, participating in undergraduate research goes beyond the scope of innovation and collaboration. It creates leaders. See, leaders, they challenge the process, and they come up with new ways to create projects or initiatives in the world. One of my favorite sayings from when I research mentors is, researchers are basically just the 2-year-olds, always asking the whys of the world. Now, I never really thought you could compare toddlers and research together, but asking these whys of the world are what make good leaders, who pursue the answers to questions and then bring those answers to fruition. In leadership, people will challenge the process. And when they come up with these new ways to create initiatives and projects in the world, it's creating stronger leaders for the future. But although these questions may be conceived individually, they often come from learning from and with others, and then bear fruit by collaborating with others. Students will collaborate with their faculty mentors and even sometimes their peers on the stage or in the lab. Furthermore, in various undergraduate programs, students will have the opportunity to work with their peers on addressing issues or questions in their work. One of my favorite times of being a student researcher has been developing and growing relationships with the people in the same program as me. It was just this past summer that I was given the opportunity to participate for a second year in CNU Summer Scholars Program. In this time, I often talked with the other scholars about the challenges and successes they were experiencing. In our conversations, we took that advice and ideas and applied it back to our own projects. Furthermore, in various undergraduate programs, there may be an opportunity to mentor someone else. In Cowles and Posner's The Leadership Challenge book, they argue that leaders model the way and inspire others. I think back to my interaction with my mentee just over a year ago, and it serves as my constant reminder that engaging in research is the pursuit of true and authentic leadership. You simply don't pick up a book, read it, write down some notes, or draw just one more sample and call it a day. It is a process of deep and intellectual thinking, accompanied by sharing it with others in some form. This leads to a key component in research, dissemination. We share our work to our peers and to the public through research conferences, publications, or simply just by having conversations with each other. When we speak of our work and the leadership we have gained from our own experience, we encourage others to get excited about it. This is exactly what leaders do. They come up with an innovative idea, fail, make a small win, fail again, learn from their mistakes, adapt, and then share their journey with others. You simply don't pick up a book, read it, and go on through your day. You share this with others, and this is where collaboration meets inspiration as a result of leadership. It was just this past year that I attended my very first research conference, where I met several other undergraduate researchers from the state of Virginia. In my conversations with them, I continued to pick up on this common theme of journey and self-growth. But one particular thing stood out to me. They felt a sense of completion when they shared their work to their peers and the public. Sharing their learning processes, their challenges, their failures, and their successes set up an opportunity for others to learn from them and become excited about their own work. In leadership, it's important to get some inspiration from others. And in these opportunities, that is where that lies. This is exactly what leadership looks like. Learning yourself to share with others in order for others to do the same. Encouraging the hearts and the minds with your own experience and knowledge, while also learning from others. In research, people will challenge the process, and they expect failures and mistakes as both a growing and a learning opportunity. It is rare that any researcher will have a smooth sailing journey. This past summer, I conducted my first research study in the communication discipline, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences. Every day I looked forward to looking at the data, writing about the experiment, reading through past literature, and more. Yet, like I said before, it's not always a smooth sailing journey. Because our research study was quantitative, the support to our hypothesis and research questions relied on the data we had collected. The day we analyzed our data, we realized that there was actually no significance to it, and ultimately, we were going to have to start again. Prior to this, I felt like I was winning in every aspect, from having a large sample size to finding good past literature. But this is what participating in undergraduate research teaches you, to adapt and to take failures and mistakes as both a growing and a learning opportunity. In Cowles and Posner's book, The Leadership Challenge, they argue that when it comes to this concept of innovation, leaders expect risk and failure. One way they adapt is through small steps and little wins. I always enjoyed talking to one of my research mentors about this, as one of his biggest pieces of advice is just to enjoy the little wins of research. Whether it's having a good day or just getting one more participant for a survey study, each little win allows you to bring a richer perspective to the challenges you will face, creating stronger leaders for the future. Finally, above all, participating in undergraduate research facilitates a journey of self-growth and discovery for all. In September of last year, I decided to start conducting research in the field of communication. And quite simply, it was one of the best decisions of my life. Since then, I've decided to work towards pursuing my master's and PhD in interpersonal communication, with the hopes of being able to work in academia, continuing my research journey, and sharing my love for everything I am learning. One day, I want to sit down in front of my own students and conduct research with them, facilitating their journey with research and watching their growth in college. For so many students, college is the place to grow and learn about the self in the future. But students don't need to have their eyes on graduate school to get their research journey started. In my current role as an undergraduate research ambassador for the social sciences, I have heard from so many students that the future was positively influenced by research, whether they networked at conferences or with their faculty mentors who helped land them a job in industry or government. They have reaped the rewards of their experience. Undergraduate research leads students to learn who they are and what their opportunities are. So, my simple answer to the simple question, why even do undergraduate research? For so many students, college is a place to grow and learn about the self and the future. It doesn't matter what you study, what your interests are, or what your background is. There is a place for you in undergraduate research. Research is filled with endless opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and so much more. But beyond all of this, it is the place where leadership can bloom and flourish. Thank you.